Buster's gonna do the pledge.
Thank you, everyone. Our grateful Father in heaven, we thank you for bringing us together as friends and neighbors for this important county meeting. Father, we're grateful for living in this country, in this state, and in this county. Father, we're also grateful for the rain that recently fell. We pray that the land receive it and grass grows to relieve the anxiety of both our animals and our friends and neighbors. Father, we are grateful for the blessings you give us, and we ask that you clear our minds, help us make good decisions for the county, and we pray to you through Jesus. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, with God, indivisible, with Jesus for all.
Okay. So, do we have any changes to the agenda?
Madam Chair, I ask that we table under 9 presentations and discussions, item A. And I don't have any other changes.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I motion we approve the agenda without exception.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do I have an approval of the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second?
And that was for the March 18th, 2026 special meeting.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna move into,
All
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so, we're gonna move into public comment. I know we have a lot of people here, so I would ask that during our public comment, we only discuss items that aren't on the agenda, so that whenever we move down into presentations, if people have public comment, we can talk during the matter discussed. So anyhow, during this portion of our meeting, we welcome your suggestions and want to hear your concerns. This is not a question and answer period. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes. The county commission is not able to act on matters discussed during public comment. Speakers are requested to state their name for the record. So, do I have public comment?
Wow, everybody wants to speak with what's on the
You
agenda.
don't understand what you just said. You said we won't comment.
So,
Yeah.
so Tom, what I'm saying is there's other issues in the county, and anybody can speak in public comment. But if there's something that's already on the agenda that's under presentation, or if it's on the agenda to discuss, we're gonna discuss that then, so we're not doing it twice.
You're going to give the 3 minutes on those spots.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you 3 minutes whenever we address the topics that's on the agenda. But if there's other things that aren't on the agenda, we want to hear your comment.
I've had time to read the agenda, so I don't know. I stand.
Well,
What do you,
go ahead and.
let's hear your, we'll just take your comment now.
I'm here in support of Jennifer and the capital funding. It's been dragging on for several months. I feel the commission, we encourage the commission to take a more hands-on and resolve the issue and get the town public clinic in operation. Well, Jennifer has taken on a big project, and we ought to be thankful in counties that will have some health care here again soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Does anybody else?
I'll just say it. Okay, I'm Joanne Blount from Glenwood, and I just wanted to make a note that Stantec was supposed to meet with us Monday. We said that February 27th. They did not. They pulled out on that meeting, and we had a meeting very well represented by the Women's Club, people who don't live in Glenwood. But I wish they would have come because the terminology got changed too. So that would have been a clarification while all of a sudden that changed. So that, my comment.
And it was on the 27th. They were still
February
there.
27th, they said they would come.
And was there any explanation given?
I don't know why.
Okay.
Thank you.
Somebody, what, for that, you know?
Anybody else?
Lime Jones. We elected you all to represent us, citizens of Catching County. And some of these citizens would like to see removal of the county manager. And this petty power struggle needs to end now. It's only bring the citizens of Catching County. Thank you.
Thank
And here's a petition if you'd like to see some of the signatures.
Sure.
Oh, and just for the record, neither Jennifer, Amber, or myself wrote that.
Anybody else have any public comment?
Okay.
That's where you, what it was.
So we're gonna move into the department and agency reports. We're gonna start with the commissioner activities report. Which you want me to bring?
Still trying to pull it up.
Okay. So we're not having public hearing?
That's.
Error on the
Oh,
agenda.
so we're doing department reports?
We're in the department reports, and we're gonna start with commissioner activities report.
Okay.
I'm ready to present.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I try to mention this every time we have a large crowd. The reason we have the commissioner activity report is this is the one opportunity we have that we can speak to each other. So we typically ask each other questions about what our activities have been. So I'll be addressing you all, but also addressing the commissioners. Since our last commission meeting, it seems, with the exception of our visit to DC, which I could put a lot of words to, I'm going to rely on our other two commissioners to bring up DC and the fantastic visit that we had there. Made some wonderful strides in the challenges that the county had. For my local activities, I had numerous meetings with Stantec relating to the Mangus Lane Improvement Project. The details of the meeting came out in the following activities. I met with individuals separately on 3 occasions, answering their specific questions as related to Mangus Lane. I coordinated a Zoom meeting between Stantec and a particular property owner to answer the questions that they had on the Mangus Lane project. I generated action on a petition requesting those living on Mangus Lane that they either approve, disapprove, or comment on the project. And by the way, the response on the petition was overwhelmingly in favor of the project. I discussed the legal opinion on Mangus Lane regarding the express easement with all of those that asked me questions regarding that easement. I completed a public meeting sharing the details on the project with good attendance and good support and some opposition on the project. So I believe we've had a thorough communication with both the community and those residents that live on Mangus Lane. Met with the Forest Service in Silver City to discuss timber sales personnel, and I gathered data on Gila Forest historical mechanical timber removal. The report that I generated was well used when we went to DC, and we're hoping we're going to see more activity on the forest related to both mechanical sales and salvage activities, and of course, road improvements. I do want everybody to know that we did receive good news last month. All of our department heads have heard it. I want the public to know also that we finally received the SRS funding that the county so desperately needs to continue to do our good works for everybody. So thank you to those legislators in DC that pushed this. And thank you very much to the New Mexico Association of Counties and the work that they did to receive the SRS funds. And that's my report. I'll wait to, unless you have any questions, I'll wait to discuss with you all with DC. Sure.
Okay. I'll go next. So I want to share just a little bit about the DC trip with everyone, because there was positive things, but there's also some disheartening things. So we actually had more cooperation with Representative Vasquez's offices than we have ever had, and so we probably don't want to announce it until you never want to say that you have something until it's actually here. But we do have movement on a crusher and a dozer and stuff. And so those would be huge for the county if we can get that done. And well worth our time trying to push those things forward.
Is Mark here?
Yeah.
Did Mark hear that?
I am.
So
Just wanted to make sure you heard that, Mark.
I didn't.
yeah, and Senator Lujan's office was very supportive in that manner as well. And so definitely don't want to be preemptive, because you can be told lots of things, right? And until it happens, then you don't know. So just share with you a little bit about, and I just want to share with this because I know the people that make up Catron County, and I think that it's made up of a bunch of people that care about America and about its freedoms and values. And what was scary to me back there is I don't think we were ever driven by or by an American.
You might bring up, we got asked if we were American.
Like we got asked a few times if we were American. And so I'm just saying that because our nation's in an awkward place, where we're told one thing on the media and we have to try to sift and find out what the truth is. And I just I know that finding out the truth to everything is imperative, but I hope that we'll do things here. And I know that I can speak for myself, but I think my fellow commissioners feel the same. Just because government works somewhere else one way doesn't mean that it's right, and doesn't mean that that's the way that it should work in Catron County. And so we definitely, I can say for myself that I come from a background where just because you have the money doesn't mean that you have to spend it. And that's the mentality of government right now, is no matter what money is allotted, they feel like it has to be spent, and there's nothing saved, nothing put in reserve. So, and I know that that's not the mentality that we want to adopt here in Catron County. The only other thing I have to report is we finally have some moisture. So hopefully some people will have some reprieve on roads, because we've had multiple calls on roads. I would imagine my other commissioners have. I always do up in the northern part, but there's only so much our guys can do without any moisture to work those roads. And so hopefully that blessing will help us out on our roads as well.
Okay, so I'll go into, probably a little bit more detailed of what happened in DC, but I was overwhelmed and like overwhelmingly happy with how that trip went. We had probably over 10 or 12 meetings, but just kind of a quick we ended up getting a meeting, and it ended up being one of the best meetings of the trip with Mike Bourne, and he's the undersecretary to Brooke Rollins. And he gave us a lot of hope. He discussed there's going to be a lot of changes to on the Forest Service side with the NEPA, which will help ranchers, help timber, help anyone be able to do more things on the forest without being delayed 2 years with the NEPA that always seems to put everybody on hold with it. It's with everything. This Mike Bourne, we got this meeting through Yvette Harrell, and she is amazing. And she said Mike is really focused on New Mexico right now, and he thinks that New Mexico's been left out and kind of treated poorly for quite a few years, and he really wants to help New Mexico get back. And so he touched a lot on on the vacant grazing allotments and trying to stock some of the vacant grazing allotments and try to somehow figure out getting the infrastructure we need to where we can start cutting more timber so our forests aren't in such a bad shape to all the fire hazards and there's money. And we addressed a lot, like Catherine County 30 years ago was really big with timber, and our schools were booming, and we had a lot of progress being made. Our forests looked a lot better. And now that we've got all the, just for instance, the timber industry shut down, we've lost all the income, we've lost the families, we've lost our kids for our school. And so that guy was very encouraging. The other thing, that we requested repair and replacement on the fences damaged by major wildfires tied to grazing allotments. I'm trying to skip through some of the things that my fellow commissioners mentioned. The other big thing that Bourne was wanting was coordinating efforts to ensure travel management decisions reflect Catherine County needs. And so he had one ask for us. He said, when you get back, I want you to put together a travel management plan that's for the county that would work for you guys. And I kind of laughed at him, and I'm like, well, then what? What are you going to do with that? And he said, well, I want to compare it to what we've got now and what they're saying so that we can better help Catherine County. So following the meeting today that's down at the fairgrounds, that's what this is about, is just suggestions from everyone. I don't care what part of the forest, whether you camp, hike, hunt, ranch, timber, everybody, watching birds, just everybody's comments so that we can compile it and get it back to him. And so that was his ask for us. And then we met with we met with a lot of other people, but we met with Brian Nesbitt and on the wolf problems that we're dealing with. And
Do you want to say who Brian is? I don't know if everybody knows.
what was his title?
Brian, he's in charge of Fish and Wildlife.
But he would be the he's probably he's Department of Interior,
Yeah.
but anyway, he's way up in Fish and Wildlife, and Brian really wants to, everybody knows the wolves are here to stay, but as long as they can get compensation for the ranchers. And the other thing is the health and safety, where they're not coming into towns and harassing people's pets and children and stuff. And so Brian was very, very helpful, and I think he's working a lot to help us out. Did you want to add something to that?
No, you're doing great. Okay.
All right. So then, there was in Ben Ray Lujan's office and Nesvic's, they both were advocating for like a multiplier whenever you lost a 2 or 3 year old cow. Having like a multiplier, which would pay you 5 times the amount of her since she's gone, and you can't just replace her. So little ideas they had, and if we threw out was, could be a big help. I don't see any outfitters in here, but, another thing that got brought up on the Forest Service side, was reducing the gross receipts back to the 1.5% gross if they are utilizing private land and public at the same time. In the 10 years ago, it used to be a 1.5% if they were utilizing private with both public, and then it changed to just the 3%. So advocating to help that. Then we met with Doug Levine's office. A lot of his stuff was with endangered species considerations. Gosar's office, Vasquez's office, Mike Lee's office, with the opposition to the wild and scenic, which Hayden's our expert on wild and scenic, but that was a good meeting. It doesn't look like that's gonna happen again, which is good for Catherine County. Moving forward, we're coordinating with Karen Bud Fallon, Mike Bourne, and Yvette Harrell. We've invited them down to some meetings that are gonna happen May 6th and 7th. Just overall, a lot of good things are happening for Catherine County, and I think with Vasquez's office there again, I can't promise it, but there's another thing. I hope I can say this, Deb, but with the Kamado Community Center, it's looking like we may get a really good, some more funding for that as well through Vasquez's office. So appropriations has went well. I think that trip was really good.
I've got a question on Kamado Community Center. It was good news to read in your report that they're going to be hooking up to the Kamado water system, right? Was there any activity on the wastewater treatment, and can they get any funding through the state water board?
Not
To repair?
currently, so that water district has some issues that they need to work out internally before we can apply for grants to benefit that system.
Okay, but they still see that as the potential for grant money? Good. Okay. All right.
It's something that I'm working with Al on.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's also been some alternatives presented, for our companies that reside in the county for the sewage removal.
Okay.
And,
Truck it out.
well, no, there's some processes that can be added to the existing deal that where it wouldn't impact it in the same manner.
Oh, okay.
And it would be probably about $150,000 to $200,000 to install. But we're looking at avenues to try to get funding on that.
Get that funded. Okay. Yeah, I gotta believe the state has a lot of opportunities on hold
Yes.
for us to, okay.
And Senator Brantley was very supportive of any help we can, push forward towards her office to get the ball.
Okay. Thank you.
So if anyone has, there was a lot to the DC trip and a lot of good things. So if anyone has any questions or want to talk to me more in detail, like I'll be glad to tell you more about it, but it went really good and things are looking good for the county, I feel. So do you have anything to say?
Just feel free to call any of the commissioners with questions about the DC trip. It was very positive in my mind, and there's a lot we can share if you have the specific questions.
The other thing that I have to add that you guys probably didn't know, I met with Vasquez and Ben Ray Lujan's office on the 30th. And it was Vasquez or Lujan's that was pushing to help the veterans for healthcare. Lujan's office. And he's gonna come back up, but this guy was very helpful. just trying to figure out how we can better take care of our veterans. And we're trying to figure out exactly how many we have in the county and what we can do to do better for them. And then he had some other ideas for a building that was like, they're like what would you call it, for the community centers possibly? We were talking about when they were building on White Sands,
Oh, yeah, it's almost,
where they build it.
it's a 3D building. It's done with a 3D
And they're putting them-
printer, yeah.
Yeah, and they're putting a lot of those buildings up on White Sands and they look amazing. They're a lot more cost effective than a metal building, so he was gonna get us more information on that. But anyhow, so things are going pretty good. If you guys don't have anything else to add?
I'll just mention here, because I think that I don't see a lot of people from up north from District One. What's going on with the sewage thing in Clumato actually affects the whole county. If you get your sewer pumped at all by the stool bus, or the other company has already said that they're Johnny on the spot, that they're going out of business. But anyway, it's basically gonna remove local, because of the cost. First, Clumato increased the cost of dumping within their system, and then there's a cutoff date where they're no longer going to allow it. And so that means you're gonna have to call Silver City, or somebody out of St. John's, or somebody out of Socorro to come pump your deal. It's gonna add cost to the people in the county no matter what. So it is an important deal, because we do want to support local business, but we also want to keep costs down as much as we can for people within the county. And I can say this because I just had to pump a sewer system, but so I know the problems that it might cause.
Okay. With that, we're gonna move on to the Forest Service report. So I see a lot of Forest Service personnel here. Who wants to go first?
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Randall Chavez, District Ranger for Wallow Ranger District. And I'm gonna actually be pretty short this one because I do have some other rangers here that have more information. And then the only thing I just wanted to do, the only message I really have is just wanted to remind about the Clark timber sale. We have the bid meeting on April 22nd at 1 p.m. at the Reserve Office. So we had a show me trip. 2 individuals showed up, so hopefully we get those people back at the bid meeting, and if not more. But I did want to introduce Elizabeth Tomey. She's the ranger she's kind of split between Silver City and Glenwood, but she also covers the Glenwood office. And then you guys will hear a presentation here in a bit from Brett Merlot. He's the district ranger on the Black Range, and Black Range has part of the district in Catron County as well too. So he'll have a presentation for you guys, and he's up in Tier C. But I'm gonna have Elizabeth come up and give you guys
Hey, can you just say again the time on the bid meeting?
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
at the Reserve Office,
Reserve Office, okay.
April 22nd.
That way, maybe we can get that up on the website too.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Hey, how you doing?
Good to see you.
So just a few updates about some things going on in Glenwood I thought I'd share. You may have already seen this through various channels, but we finished the phase 1 cleanup at the Challenge Venture mine site up near Mogollon. The first phase just included removing the infrastructure over the top of the site. And I'm very hopeful that I'll hear soon that we'll have funding for the phase 2 aspect of the project, which is clean the hazardous material beneath that site. So I was excited that happened because I think it's been sitting out there for over 30 years. So the second thing is we finished the Pueblo Park Fuel Break CE NEPA, and we are partnering with NFF to begin the mastication phase of that project, hopefully starting in mid-May. And we had on the Go See trip 3 bidders out there for the mastication work. So I'm looking forward to that project starting. The third thing is that we're also partnering with, we have some Forest Service funding and other partners to redo the interpretive signage out at the catwalk so old, beat, faded, and so we have a meeting coming up to get that design going, and we're working with the individual who made the original signage from the last go around. So I'm excited that's getting going, in addition to hopefully getting some additional funding for the pub signage out at Pueblo Park Campground. It'll talk about, you know, the interpretive trail that's out there and also the CCC that we're out there. I think that'll be good for developed recreation. And then the final bit of news, just wanted to share, well, two more things. I did receive a plan of operations from Suma Silver for 4 drill pads, exploratory drill pads out at Mogollon. So I'm sure you'll be hearing a lot about that. So I wanted to share that. And we just got the proposal, so we're reviewing it currently.
When do you think you'll have answers on that?
So we're probably gonna have some clarifying questions, and then we'll probably need to do the NEPA for that. And so, I can update you as we progress through the project. Yeah. We have already been working, not on Forest Service lands in the same area. And then the last thing is that we've done quite a bit of road maintenance work, particularly in Glenwood over the last couple of months with our road crew and some strike teams from other forests. And so in total, we have, what we're claiming 58 miles of road maintenance for all of Catron County. That's all I had to share. So
Please spend as much time as you can in Glenwood on redoing the roads. We're okay with that.
yeah, I hear it loud and clear.
We'll even buy lunch.
Okay.
Just a second.
Question.
All right.
Have you fixed Saddle Mountain Road with all the deadfall and the poor road conditions? We had an EMS run down there and it was kind of a nightmare trying to get down there.
Yeah, we heard about that, and that is next on my list. We
Okay.
have a prioritized list, and it's definitely on
It's
there.
good, you know, there's somebody lives down there and might need help again.
In addition to working on some fencing around our helipad at Glenwood, because recently we had you know, it's used quite a bit for EMS as well, and so we need to create some additional fencing in case our stock is out when the helicopter lands. So we're also working on that, and also maybe expanding the helipad, but we do need some help or additional funding for that, so.
Thank you. So that's all the Forest Service. We're gonna go into our manager report.
So I did submit you guys the manager's report. I will also say that Tila has provided a hard copy of her fire administrator report for your review. And I will say she's done an excellent job. She broke down all of each fire department that they're doing. So if you get a chance, please review that. But I think it's both the fire and EMS side of things. So it's very complete. So good job, Tila.
Thank you for your manager's report. It was very well done. Been busy.
Oh, and one thing, you do have a presentation from the Health Council, but one thing I would like to just touch on briefly is that from January to the end of March, they have installed throughout the county 135 medical alert units. And that is also a benefit to our EMS staff, right? And so not only the people that have those units, but the EMS staff that respond. So we're requesting that the Health Council do a presentation to our EMS chiefs this next week.
Do we have any department heads that wanna give their report?
This is going to be done for everyone official and other than commission. Hi guys. It always seems like it's a full house when I have to give a report, so thank you for being involved. So, I'd like to pass this along. Everybody, can you just pass that down, please? Oh, that one's mine. Sorry. Should be enough. Hello. So I was asked to give a little presentation. It's going to be budget time coming up.
And, we were hoping to get raises for not just the elected officials, the chief deputies, and also our staff. We know that, cost of living is really going up quite a bit. All of our insurance are going up. Coming up in a month or so. Gas prices have gone up, and a lot of us drive from Tomato or Glenwood to come here. And that's gonna really cut into the, that's gonna cut into people's budgets quite a bit. Unfortunately, we are one of the lowest paid counties. I believe there's only one other that is lower than ours. Our sheriff does make the second lowest salary in New Mexico. And I'd like us to modernize a little bit, and not just for the elected officials, but also for our hourly people. Our hourly people really deserve a raise. They, and I in the proposal that I put out, I also believe that we need to have a schedule on when people can expect raises, how much. And if you look in that's, I believe, the last page, second to last page is the staff schedule for raises. So currently, and it'll vary from person to person, but most of the elected officials are making around 58,000. In Luna County, where it's about equivalent to Catron, they're making a little over 70. So what we're asking is that for the elected officials, we get bumped up to 7. And that's on par with what other people in the county are making. And I think it's fair that, we are running staff. We have, and in Catron, we have to wear multiple hats. We don't have, if you go to Bernalillo, you have someone who just works on deeds, just works on mobile homes. But, when Jody, my chief deputy treasurer, when she was working in the assessor's office, she was doing deeds. She was, doing address changes, and, we have to really, really pull our weight. And I believe our people are very much worth the raise. So we're asking for the elected officials, 12,000 increase. And that's going to be over different timeframes because we are all elected at different times. So this wouldn't be an all at once thing. So for me, if I were to get the raise, if I was elected again, then I would get it in 2.5 years. But I would like it for my chief deputy to be able to get her raise currently, because I believe that's how it worked the last time you guys did raises. We would also like for the chief deputies. So I believe in almost every county, the chief deputies get 90% of what the elected officials get. Currently, chief deputies are only getting 85, so we're asking for that 5% increase for that. And when it comes to when it comes to staff, I would like to ask for a 10% immediate raise for them. I know that there was I think it was like a 24-cent raise last year, but I mean, their insurance is going to go up. For my insurance, and that's just for me and my husband, is going to go up about, I think, $700 a year. And to ask someone who is making less than I am to pay for that increase is going to really hurt that. So I think for staff, I would like to see the immediate 10% increase, and then I would like them to have that the schedule, which basically, if you've been here 1 year, you get a little bump. If you've been here 5 years, you get a bigger bump. And it's incentive to keep people and keep the institutional knowledge that we need to keep our government running. Because when we lose people, things get murky, then you have a lot of people who don't know exactly what they're doing because the person before them left before they could get trained. And that's a difficult position to put anybody in. So if we can keep that institutional knowledge, if we can keep people here and we can take care of the people of Catron County who help run Catron County, I think it would be good for everybody. On the proposal for you guys, I have the salaries, what we proposed, and the fiscal summary of how much the immediate and then full implemented cost would be. So I tried to be as detailed but as simple as possible, and I go through all of the offices. So if you guys want to take a look at that, I won't bore everybody with numbers. I'm the nerd here, so I would like to leave on one thing. I was talking with my girls about this because I really like my staff and I trust them to give me good advice. And so she wrote up a little letter she wanted me to read to you guys. I won't take up your whole time, but I want to hit the high notes. So she is an educated woman. She has a college degree, and she feels that her wages reflect that of a 17-year-old McDonald's worker. She's 48 years old, works 40 hours a week, and she qualifies for both food stamps and Medicaid. That is correct. I qualify for government welfare while I work for a government office. My take home after para and taxes equates to $27,000 per year, which is just slightly above the poverty line in this country. And it hurts to hear that. You know, they come in every day and they help me make sure that we take care of everybody here. And I really hope that resonates and hits home for you guys because I know you care about our people. So, thank you.
Becky, do you have a report? So everybody else. Okay, we're gonna move on to presentations and discussions. So the U.S. Forest Service NEPA analysis for the Black Range Fire Project Recovery Project. Michelle Brett.
Those documents for this presentation were included within your packet.
Hard copies too. One for each commissioner, one for you there. And there's also a presentation that's digital only for you all. That's just before and after pictures of some things for us to do. So I'm Brett Malott. I'm the district ranger on the Black Range Ranger District. We do have Elizabeth Tony that was introduced. We got Mary Beth Peacock, who's our forest NEPA officer, here to back me up when I stumble and fall. So I want to say thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to come. And I just kind of want to talk about how we got where we're at today on the 8th of April, 2026. So as many of you know, the Black Fire hit the Gila National Forest in May and June of 2022. It burned 324,000 acres on the forest and on some private. And we've been working really hard since then to get to where we're at now. So through efforts in recovery, the forest got about $17 million to go into recovery efforts. And we've been using that on multitude of things that include range, roads, trails, waters, and then planning and NEPA. And that's where we got here into that NEPA that is going to get us farther. So I want to talk about some of the things that we've already accomplished. Is we did a watershed restoration action plan to help us with the recovery, and we combined 24 6 code watersheds, which has a combined 603,000 acres. So we took that 324,000 acres that got burned, and we've now turned it into 603,000 acres that the forest can do projects on. And of those 24 watersheds, 7 of them are in Catron County. So we have Taylor Creek, Beaver Creek, the Diamond Creek East, Black Canyon East, South Diamond East, Outlet Diamond East, Hoyt Creek, and Taylor Creek. Those 7 they're in the Black Range Ranger District and the Wilderness Ranger District. And you'll see some of those in Appendix 2 there, commissioners. Some of the projects and accomplishments that we've already done is within Catron County alone, we've done major repairs down by Wall Lake where it was impassable and flooded every time we got monsoons. Down at South Diamond, we did some major repairs, raised the road, hardened the low water crossings. And then we've also done right around 30 miles of other road repair up there in the Catron County portion of the Black Range. We've installed to date 51.75 miles of rangeland fence that was burned and destroyed in the Black Fire. And we have another, a total of 22 more miles to go. 16 of that is already on the ground and is already contracted, and the rest is waiting for contracts. And that'll be the replacement. So we'll get a total of 73 miles of range fence redone. We've worked on multiple waters. We've worked in conjunction with Sierra Soil and Water Conservation District down there on the east side, and have done multiple waters, multiple other range projects. We've been repairing dirt tanks. We're going into the wilderness next week to repair a rock header in conjunction with the New Mexico Conservation Corps and Bat Conservation International and NFF, National Forest Foundation. So a 4-organization project to repair some of the waters in the wilderness. And we've also worked on, just last year alone, about 104 miles of trails within the Aldo Leopold Wilderness and coming over into the Gila Wilderness in all 3 counties combined. So there was about 310 miles of trails that were identified that were devastated during the fire and post-fire flood. All of those are in the environmental assessment that we're doing. Something that we're really looking to do, I don't know if you're all familiar with it, but when you build a trail, the old-fashioned way was you did your NEPA, and you mentioned NEPA earlier, Chairwoman, but you did your NEPA, you had a washout, you had to reroute it, you had to start all over and do a whole nother NEPA. Something that we're looking to do with this environmental assessment is we're going to do what's called a straw method, and we're going to do about 30 meters on either side of every single trail that's out there. So if we do have an issue with the trail where we need to repair, do a major repair, do a reroute, we're not starting back at square one where it's going to take 6 months to a year to do the paperwork to redo that. It's all going to be combined in this new document here. So on the 3rd of April, last Friday, Camille signed the letter for scoping and published it out, and we sent it out for public comment. Public comment is going to be open from the 6th of April to the 6th of May. We'll close it on the 6th of May. And what went out was the proposed action. The proposed action is going to cover 5 things. It's going to cover riparian, stream, wetland, and meadow habitat restoration. It's going to cover terrestrial ecosystems, which in my simple terms is reforestation, planting, and getting rid of invasive species at encroachment. It's going to cover prescribed fire, hand thinning, mechanical thinning, and reconditioning. It's going to cover roads and trails, and that's decommissioning of bad roads, repair of new roads. It's potentially repair of roads and potentially new road where needed. And then it's also that 310 mile of trails, because those trails are a really big deal for people moving through the forest. And then last but not least, it's caves, mines, and historical preservations. I do want to point out that in this EA, there is no range at all covered in this EA. Everything that we're doing with range is already covered under existing NEPA documents, or if need be, like we've done a couple times, we'll do a CE or a separate one to cover that range stuff, whether that's range infrastructure or new ones. And I'll give you a prime example right now. We're working on waters improvement, NEPA on the Black Mountain allotment in the Black Range to add about 14 drinkers, 3 tanks, and a well. But that will be completely separate from this one. So like I said, the maps are in there, the proposed action, the appendix B is maps. And it breaks down the maps based upon the 5 priorities. So you can see the total land mass that's going to be affected for riparian or for thinning, prescribed fire, and for any of the other things. And then appendix D is the design features. So there was a presentation, but we don't have access to that now. So I think I'll just open it up to questions.
So if, the question for you, so like if the permittees already have an existing water tank,
Yes, ma'am.
and then it dries up and they can bring the dozer in and clean it, are they still gonna require NEPA to do that? Or are they gonna say, since it's been done, it was already an existing?
So if
water?
it's an existing infrastructure, like a dirt tank that's
Mhm.
already out there, we do not need new NEPA to do
And
it.
fence is the same way, if it's an existing fence, they can tear it down and put,
Yes, ma'am.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so none of that's included. We're doing a lot of waters. We're doing a whole lot of waters. But if it's a range infrastructure, so an existing spring box, a tank, a drinker, we don't need it in here, and we're already working on those.
That's
So
awesome.
we've sunk, in conjunction with Sierra Solar Water, the National Forest Foundation, and BCI, to date, we've sunk just shy of $2 million into Sierra Grant, Catron County, so the Black Range, the Wilderness, and Silver City districts for waters on,
Awesome.
well, waters and range infrastructure, I apologize.
I'm seeing a lot of trail maintenance here, which is good news. Can I ask you how you're finding the personnel? I know that's been a struggle in the past.
Partnerships. So partnerships are probably the best thing that has happened because of this. So we partnered with the National Forest Foundation, which is a congressionally recognized U.S. Forest Service entity, and then with Bat Conservation International and our 2 primary. We've also partnered with Natural Curiosity, who's out there at the old ghost town of Hermosa. And then through them and through us, we've got Conservation Corps New Mexico, Rocky Mountain Youth Foundation, the Tribal Youth Foundation, and several other groups that we'll bring in hitches and getting them out there and doing the trails. So we did 48 trail hitches last year in the Alta Leopold alone, wilderness for trails. Out of all those 48, only 1 was actual Forest Service. The other ones were youth or other people. So the money is getting out there too, and it's really helping the economy and the communities.
I don't see any timelines for completion.
So the completion of the NEPA or the completion of projects?
Of the project work.
So this is a long-term, it's based upon what's called conditions-based management, which is the current condition on the ground versus desired conditions based upon the forest plan and other stuff. And I did put a cheat sheet in each packet on conditions-based management, but because it's the 24 watersheds and the amount of potential projects that are out there, there is no completion date. There's projects that we can do for 20, 30 years.
So in the public comment, we can help with prioritization.
For the projects,
Yeah.
if you desire,
Will it be?
we aren't there yet for once the EA is signed, and there's no dollars tied to any of the projects yet, if that makes sense. Then the watersheds will get opened, and then we will be able to start soliciting for funds to tie to the watersheds. But yes, there will be an open period for projects, and in the comments, if you wish to, yes.
Thank you.
Somebody had their hand up.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate your hard work on the Aldo Leopold. The Gila Wilderness is a different story. There's 12 trails, haven't been open for 14 years. The main one, 151, coming from Willow Creek into the West Fork of the Gila River. 14 years, and it has 4 miles that need rerouted. We've had there's 3 different rangers, and they start on it, then they quit. It's affected my business tremendously. I'm a wilderness packer, and I work with Jerry Engels on the backcountry horsemen. It seems the Forest Service won't let the volunteer people work up in the higher log jam, you know, that hill, the water quality fire covered 300 and some thousand acres also.
Right.
And we were left out cold for 14 years now. I don't know if the wilderness rangers we've had let us down completely.
So we are, I can't speak specifically to that trail, but we did just write that down. The 603,000 acres of the watersheds does go into the Gila Wilderness as well. It goes significantly under the east side of the Gila Wilderness. There is not a prohibition for this project for partners or volunteers. Backcountry Horsemen is one of the groups that's working with us as well, getting up in there and cutting. Again, I can't speak to that specific trail. We can get it, write it down, and we can get information back to you on that.
Also, 172.
172.
The main escape route from the log jam on the Crest Pine Trail. 172, the upper 2 miles have been plugged for 14 years. A major escape route.
Yeah.
What would really help more than anything that you've done or anybody's done is let us use chainsaws in the winter. We could walk through in 2 weeks and have it done, not 30 years.
So one of the big differences between the Blackfire, White Walter Baldy, or the Silver Fire in 2013 is there wasn't recovery funds attached to those two fires, unfortunately. This one, there was. We got a little bit. We got some pittance. If $17 million is a significant amount of money. When you look at Hermit's Peak, Cat Canyon, I think there's 120 million that went up there to that. And so I'm not downplaying anything that you're saying, and I'm sure that we can look into those trails and start working on them. But the biggest difference is there's recovery money in our pockets right now for us to be able to do it, but we can only do it in those current outlines. That's the burn scar and then that watershed scar for this money and for this EA.
So I think it's high time for the Forest Service, not necessarily you, to reopen 151 and 172.
Yes, sir. So we copied that down and we will check into that with the folks that are responsible there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the time. If there's any questions, please reach out to.
Thank you for all the work.
Go back to take a moment, I think, and I would, on the presentation, if you did for the department head, it sounds like we're asking for this great big jump, but we're not. We're just trying to close the disparity from the salaries that left to stay in the bottom courthouse versus the salaries in the commission office. It's like each deputy gets paid less, it's sharp people. And they're putting their life on the line. It kind of takes away the incentive to run the office. If you can go work in the commission office and you twice as much as you can make in the work. So we're just trying to, we're not asking for this huge jump. It's not like we're saying, you know, we need all this money. But I think our people all, I know you've seen from my presentation, we are doing our jobs. And the commission office is supposed to be a support for the elected officials. And it's kind of gone the other way around because we're actually the underpaid ones.
Agree.
I'll say that we're not the sole local government agency. But on the other hand, we answer probably 99% of calls that come in. And the other 1% that goes to a different agency, we're required, not required, but we're requested to go back to local and almost every call they get. My guys are on call 24/7 basically. When they are on duty, they're on call either before or after they're on duty. They don't get no compensation for that because it's not a restriction on call. But they are on call, they're also eligible or, eligible to be on call on their days off, if something major happens. And they do not hesitate if they're called to come out. And, from the surrounding counties pay more than what they're asking. The pay raise doesn't even get us up in the surrounding counties. It's hard to keep anybody. It's hard to get anybody. It's hard to recruit anybody. So Really appreciate your consideration.
No, thank you. Okay, we're gonna move into the Cowboy Clinic flooring and interior paint. And then anyone else, like I said before, for public comment that has comments, we'll have 3 minutes after their presentation and discuss it. Those.
And these, we want one copy of each, so we don't have one for others. Do you want? They got. Yep, I think so. They have one for you, so they don't.
So what is being provided to the audience is the sample
These are just.
requested by the commission office and what was provided by.
Is the explanation that was provided by the clinic on there too, stating that floor would be turquoise, gold, and white?
The
lighter
And the lighter colors,
email.
Okay, here we go again. Thank you guys for having us. Shall I wait for Hayden to come back in?
Yeah, let's wait for Hayden. And I will just ask that everybody remain professional in this discussion. I think it's gotten out of hand and I don't want to see it. I just want to see this get resolved and but politely and everybody try to be nice to them.
That's what we're here for. For everybody's edification, if you look into the packet that we have provided, the final page is,
Amber, let's just wait till Hayden gets here.
okay.
Then you can hear it all that way.
Okay.
With that,
he's right there.
He's coming.
He's coming.
okay, sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. All right, so if you will look at the packet that we have provided today, the 3 pages, the final page, page number 3, is what I will be reading from, and the points that we'll be taking from. The top 2 are mostly evidentiary and factual. So here we are again. Thank you guys for hearing us. We would like to not have to do this again, but you're going to find out a little bit more about what's going on. Before we get to paint and flooring, we want to raise awareness to some issues at hand. Back in September, we had communication with County Leadership Office regarding physicals and drug tests, and County Leadership has decided to send your employees to Magdalena for physical and drug screenings, knowing full well that we do those, we provide those. So it might be a question for you to ask why they are sending that revenue outside of our county when we provide those services here. This is also, it shows a lack of support that we have from county leadership. Same thing with the website. On January 5th, I asked county leadership who maintains the website. I was told that the county manager does. I asked if we could be put on the website because we are the only healthcare clinic in this county. Her response was that she would put us on there when we got into the big building. Meanwhile, you guys have a county website that links to an organization that hasn't been in this county since September. So it's another appearance of bias or dislike in some way.
Especially given they were here at the last meeting asking to come back, and CMS is still the medical facility listed on the county's website with no mention of our clinic whatsoever. And those physicals we discussed with Charles Polina were for fire, EMS, and police physicals. We had one officer came for a physical, and after that, every other physical has been done in Socorro County, and the taxpayers in Ketchum County are paying for that service.
Can anyone of you, anyone in the room cite any code or regulation or any other project that has been held up by indoor paint and flooring in this county? It's a rhetorical question. Most of my questions will be rhetorical because we don't have time to get into depth, and quite frankly, we are tired of being lied to. Also, per the email on 4/1 when we were told that you guys had rejected our proposal. When did this meeting take place? Why was it not available to the public? Is it a violation of Open Meetings Act? Is my question. Again, rhetorical.
So
Now-
we were told our color scheme was rejected. And in a conversation on Easter Sunday with Audrey McQueen, we were told that she was told every wall is gonna be painted dark brown. And as you can see by the palettes, we put them on Facebook. That could not be further from the truth. And we asked, why is your county manager's office lying to you about what we are communicating? And we haven't gotten an answer with that either.
Now, as far as rejection of paint and flooring goes, paint can always be covered easily. We are talking about the aesthetic value here. This does not degrade or change the building itself in any way. As far as flooring goes, I know I spoke with Buster last night. Thank you. He did talk about the difference between tile and epoxy. Y'all need to understand that epoxy is much more durable. It is also much more antibacterial. We don't want to be cleaning blood out of grout from tile. And we have funds left in the budget to cover the epoxy.
Also in the response from the county manager's office saying our proposal of epoxy was rejected, they sent us a suggestion, which was a picture of an epoxy floor.
Right.
Exactly what we were trying to get.
Yep. So as far as communication goes, after February's meeting, we were assigned an intermediary and everything was going along flawlessly until we started communicating, until the county manager started communicating with us again. And here we are a week later. So just, there's a common denominator here. There's a common factor. So we will submit to you now our samples for paint and flooring, but know that we understand that this isn't just a paint and flooring issue. The issue goes far greater than this. It feels highly prejudicial. There's some type of bias and it's pretty obvious. There's no reason that we shouldn't be doing your physicals and drug screens here. We offer a wide range of services and there's no reason why we should be getting so much resistance. So we will get in that building. We are not going anywhere. You can try to stop us and halt us all you want. We're not going anywhere. We will continue to provide healthcare to the residents of this county because that is what is important. That is what we do. We're not here to politic. We are here to provide care. You hold the literal lives of people in your hands. You can show them that you care and do something different, or you can continue to stand in our way. But we're not going anywhere. Go ahead and take a look at samples. Thank you for hearing me. Jennifer, do you have anything you want to say?
No, I think we summed it up. I did add a paper, the second page about pretense, where you pretend that you're trying to help people when you are literally going behind their back and undermining them. And this is what is happening here. When we have all of these conversations, we get very upset when we send a message to Deborah's office and we carbon copy all of you, and then she responds by cutting all of you out of it and responds just to us, then you don't know what we're talking about. This is a ploy, it isn't an accident, it's an intentional way to keep the information
So I will
limited.
tell you, whenever we get an email like that, we cannot respond via quorum. And so Deb responds to that. Like, I get your emails, I'm sure the other two commissioners get your emails, but it's not that we're not trying to reply. And I've said, call me anytime. And I did take your call Easter Sunday. I'll take a call anytime, but we can't get on an email thread and all of us be commenting on that.
But then how does it happen that she can tell us your stuff is all rejected if you haven't even been able to respond? If you give her carte blanche to speak for you, you can't come back later and say, oh, that wasn't what I meant. Either she speaks for you or she doesn't, and that's the line you need to draw, because we can't control that. You control that.
Deb can speak with us. I'm gonna refer to Adrian to explain what I'm trying to say on whenever there's an email thread with all of us.
They are BCC'd on those threads.
So when I email the commission or the direction of the manager to email the commission, if she sends something to the commission, she puts them in the BCC line, so they are on there. it's, the reason that it's done, is the best practice from the Attorney General, because no commissioner can hit reply all and create a rolling quorum, so that's just the reason for that.
Well, our point being that then the information that was given to you was incorrect. And we didn't plan to paint all the walls brown. And we also we were showing examples of epoxy. And it all got twisted around and ended up starting another big ordeal when that shouldn't have been the response then. The response should have been, we will show the commissioners and talk to them about this when they get back from Washington, D.C. Maybe that would have been a more appropriate response, instead of just flat out saying, no, everything's rejected.
Pat Morrison, we had a question.
Yeah, I had a question. In order to have physicals done by your organization, you have to be a DOT certified CDL.
If it's a CDL physical, yes.
For standard CDLs, you have to be listed in the DOT website,
Correct.
and I have not found it.
No, we are not DOT certified, but that isn't a typical physical for an officer. That is,
Well, it may not be for an officer, but it is for the ambulance drivers.
Yeah.
And that's why you're not getting the ambulance drivers, is we have to have a DOT
and that's understandable. That
certified
is perfectly understandable, but the vast, not all of the county people need DOT physicals.
So Joe is here and she is our HR person that also orders those tests. Joe, would you please share with the audience any direction from me provided to you ever, and the reason we have to send to Magdalena or Springerfield?
Well, and largely that comes down to the DOT physicals. Honestly, I'm also accounts payable, and I've had very few physicals I've even had to pay for lately. And they've all been DOT. So, I mean, I haven't had them send any officers my way for physical information or anything lately. We have had no instruction to avoid you except that you're not DOT. At all.
Right, and I understood too from Glenwood that had to go south because they were DOT.
Yeah. A large portion of what we do is DOT connected, so I was searching high and low for somebody I could send them to, if y'all could do that, we'll 100% put them that way. Because
Well, and it costs a lot of money to go get certified, but, you know, if we get one physical, it wouldn't pay for it. It'll cost thousands of dollars
well, and
to
I
get
get
certified.
that, but
So
that's what I'm
if ever-
saying, we're not avoiding you, you can't do what we need. Yes.
So every fire employee, every police officer, and every EMS needs a DOT physical. Is
I
that
don't
what you're
have
saying?
any,
Because don't they have, but they are required to have a physical for the county, correct?
I haven't had hardly any physicals lately, and they've all been DOT.
Okay,
I'm only speaking of labor.
okay, thank you, Charles.
So all ambulance drivers must have a DOT physical. Meet the same thing as a truck driver.
We're not debating that, but is every person that works on the ambulance a driver?
Not every single person, but every driver has to meet that.
But that
And
is
so
every
you're
person.
talking countywide, probably.
Does every police officer have to have a DOT?
I can't
physical?
speak for the police department. That would be a question for Keith.
Every volunteer fireman need to have a,
They have to be certified and can have a basic,
so I guess that's our point, that
Right.
there are plenty of people who do not need DOT physicals.
I will point out though that on my department, all of our firefighters are ambulance drivers, so they all get a DOT physical.
And most of them on my department are also drivers, but volunteer firefighters are not mandated to have a physical. So we don't go there. The DOT physicals are mandated by the state.
Okay, thank you, I seen Becky raise her hand.
Yeah, I want to say something because I've been watching this go on for a long time. And I've tried to stay neutral and quiet, but this last go around, I am so frustrated. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm frustrated with you because when I go, this Facebook stuff, it needs to stop. Because when I go on Facebook and I see somebody basically calling our commissioners and our county managers stupid effing idiots, and there's one like on that comment and it's from you guys. And I'm thinking like, how unprofessional is that? you're sitting there basically agreeing that these guys are stupid effing idiots, but yet at the same time, you want us to jump through hoops for you. Something is wrong here. This has got to stop. And as far as the flooring, I'm sorry, I have yet to get 3 quotes on the flooring. So nobody can move forward with flooring.
And we intentionally didn't put quotes in for the flooring because the sewer line wasn't fixed for 6 months.
But I'm just saying.
And if you'd had your way.
Hold on, stop.
Put in the.
Hold on, let's not interrupt. Becky was still talking and then I'll let you talk.
I'm just saying, as procurement, everyone needs to know there's rules we have to follow. And the flooring is, I don't care about the flooring. I just care about the procurement side of it. So at that point, it's being misconstrued here. We are not delaying you with the flooring. You are delaying it because you're not giving me 3 quotes. You give me 3 quotes, I can move forward. So
Except that we can't do, are you done talking?
No, well, wait a minute. I'm just saying that this whole Facebook thing is, you don't see responses from any of the county employees because we have a social media policy that we have to follow, but that does not mean I don't want to speak up, trust me. Because I just feel like the Facebook is a one-sided story. And sometimes it's not completely true. There might be some truths, but it's not. If you people want to know something, you need to call both sides because this is getting out of hand and it's got to stop. It's got to stop. That's it. Okay, Jennifer?
And then for our part, the county manager's office and the information they are putting out is also not always accurate. And so we don't have another way to communicate with the people. We don't have a newspaper in this town. We don't have, how are we supposed to communicate if we don't use social media?
And this is a democratic republic and it is free
And I'm not
speech.
saying don't use social media, but it always needs to be one-sided. It's not, I'm sitting there reading it and I'm knowing the full story from both sides, but everybody else doesn't know the full story from both sides. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, people need to be responsible and listen to both sides.
Mhm.
That's all I'm saying. Call your commissioners, call whatever, and get both sides of the story because it's not being told. And I have stayed neutral through this whole thing, but I'm just, this last go around, when that, I just thought it was very unprofessional.
We are just as
For you
frustrated.
guys to give a like when somebody's calling our commissioners and county manager stupid effing idiots, and you liked it.
It was a laugh.
I do,
It was a
Actually.
laugh.
I do wanna say something too. I also read the social media, I'm not gonna engage in it. I never once picked a color for them to paint the clinic, ever. I don't care what they name their rooms, that's their deal. Like, they wanna rent the building. I never said, let's get apricot colors or anything. I did not do that. I think that now, if Hayden or Buster have anything to say, but I'd like to hear from Deb, clear everybody up with the public of the other side of it, because I think there's been mudslum that shouldn't be and it needs to be out in the open and we need to be transparent about it all. I think nobody here is, none of us want to see the Cowboy Clinic not move in. Nobody, like, we want to have healthcare for our people here. Catherine County has to have healthcare. So, you guys have anything to say?
I'll just say one thing, because I talked with Amber and what we are elected for as county commissioners is to oversee the funds, okay? And that's what I expressed to Amber. That's my only concern, and that comes down to the quotes and stuff and things. So I'm interested in what things cost and what we are doing there. And when I'm presented with that, those are the things that are important, because if, so like I expressed to Amber, if there is a certain flooring that's costing us, 2 or 3 times as much as another flooring, then I just need to know why it's justified and why we're doing that. And unfortunately, and this is another thing that I talked to Amber, one thing that is very discouraging is government. Like, we have procedures and stuff that we have to follow. And unfortunately, I don't care for that, because I work in the private industry and we just go and get things done. And a lot of times we do things and then ask for forgiveness later. But with government, we can't do that. And so, there have been some unforeseen circumstances that have happened. So with the plumbing, we did not realize that we were going to get into into the amount of damage and stuff that we had there. So yes, that did set things back quite a bit. But I just want everyone to know that, at least from myself, it's important that we have health care here, and we need to focus on having health care here. And so, yes, I want the building to look nice and be functional and everything, but the primary focus should be getting health care for individuals here. Yeah. Shouldn't be on other stuff.
And so the paint choices that we chose don't cost any more per gallon than any other colors, beige, apricot included, which was the color scheme that was sent to us by the county manager. The flooring, of course, there would be a difference in price, so we decided fine, you know, there's $30,000 left in the budget apparently for flooring. We took off the metallic parts if you don't like that to do flake flooring, which is exactly the picture they sent us was a epoxy flake floor. So it costs, you know, it's going to cost similar to what was sent to us, and it can be done for that price. And no one ever asked us about, you know, to discuss the prices or things that we knew. But epoxy is mainly used in healthcare because it's non-absorbent, it's non-skid, it's easy to clean, it just gets damp mopped, it doesn't crack, it's a 20-year floor. So in the long run, it's much cheaper to use epoxy than to put down tile that has grout that people's walkers get stuck on and people fall, and there's issues with absorbency.
Yeah, and I can see that, Jennifer, but that's where, and this is hard because this is where we need to sit down and we need to be told that so that we can research it out and so that we can go, okay, these are the costs and stuff. And
we were never expecting this, though. Also remember, it's not in our agreement, and we were only told 2 weeks ago that, oh, by the way, commissioners have to approve your paint and floors, which is again why I asked, has this ever happened before?
well, and so Amber, like talking with you yesterday, and my concern, like, yeah, we allotted that money, but I also, in case, so that we know on the lighting fixtures and everything else, just so that, make sure that we don't go over budget.
We're paying for lights. That was established in January. We're paying for lights.
We also included the lights we want to use, pictures of them. We also want to remove the sconces and paint them. And we'd like approval to do these things so we don't have to go through this ever again.
And then that's it. We're done. We can move in and perform per our agreement. You guys can perform per our agreement as well. We'd like this to be the last time we ever have to do this. So Sherry, in front of you are the lights and I believe the floors, if you can pass those through.
I believe Audrey asked for Deb to make a few comments, but before Deb makes comment, I would like to make a statement. And when you're done, Deb, I have something else I'd like to add. But do know that I'm the one that initiated Deb to give you a call about the color scheme. I was asking for input on the colors that are chosen. And I knew the relationship was improving. I had hoped we'd gotten past the point where you didn't want to communicate with Deb. I asked Deb to contact you. So I will take that responsibility.
On the other hand, Hayden, had we been approached and said, Hayden would like your input and have you explain why these colors or why this color, we would have responded and not done anything else. But that was not the communication we received.
So go ahead, Deb, and then I'll.
So as you requested, I included ideas within the email that was sent to you. In no way was it correction. It said attached are a couple screenshots of color schemes that are appropriate for clinic space for the request from the commission. So it was not, you were not being directed to go with the apricot or the blue floor and the cream walls. They were ideas, okay? So in regards to the sewer aspect, we addressed the root ball in December. But at the same time, with the building being vacant, we wanted to find out why every 8 months we had to hire somebody to come out and spend $900 to clean out a root ball, because that's not normal. So as I told you, we were wanting to investigate the cause of the root ball. So that we had to get 3 quotes, right? Just like everybody else has to get 3 quotes. We got those 3 quotes. Jerry with J&T was the cheapest. We went with Jerry. Jerry found a crack in the sewer tank. Then we had to get 3 quotes to actually fix it. So that repair was completed. But since the building was vacant, we were in a good position to investigate and repair what went wrong with that building. But no, we had the root ball was cleaned out in like January. So the toilets worked in January. The long-term fix was completed in April.
Well, the emails you sent us said something, and we got an email from you and you said the line is not broken, there are just roots in it. And then on January 5th, finally a camera went down the toilet, and after that, first it was, oh, they just have to clean out the roots, then they just have to put in a liner, and then finally, now they have to dig under the building, and then finally, now we have to jackhammer the floor, which, had we put flooring in, what would happen to that flooring?
Well, considering we had, once again, as Becky mentioned, we had not received 3 quotes, we had not issued a PO, so it was the time.
The reason was because we didn't do it because we didn't want to have to jackhammer through the floor when you finally found out how to fix the sewer.
At this point, that is the timeline that happened.
Your emails don't match what you're saying here, and we have those emails.
Okay, and I will provide those, since the commission has been included on every email. So whether you feel they're not in there or I delete them out of the CC, but they are included on the front.
I mean, that's kind of common thing, Jennifer, like, I mean, I have multiple things that you try to assess with what knowledge you have on the problem that's given, and then you get in there and you realize, crap, there's something, it's much further damage than we had initially thought or assessed.
But just what I tried to say right from the very beginning.
It goes all the way back to last fall.
So I have a question. So is this the
Yes.
flooring that would be throughout the building?
Yes, throughout the whole building.
Okay, and just because I know nothing about flooring, so how is it put on, or like what's concrete?
So they grind concrete and they make that flat, and then they pour a layer, and then they use these flakes. So it's called a flake floor.
Right.
And 3 colors is like optimal, and they sprinkle the flakes all over, and then they cover it again, and then they polish it.
Okay, and then you're estimating a lifetime of 20 years?
Yes.
And then can it be redone?
Yes.
Finished on top?
Yes.
Yes, it comes out just like tile. It'll break out just like breaking a tile floor out. It's like what they're doing.
But I mean, can you
polish it?
Yep.
Without having to replace it? Can
Yes.
you come in?
Put a new layer, you grind it down, put in a new layer of epoxy.
You could change the color, you could put in different flakes and just pour it again, and it would be an entirely different color, whatever somebody else wanted.
Okay.
But the whole point is it's supposed to last 20 years. You're not supposed to have to rebuff and reshine. It's supposed to stay, it's not a scratchable surface.
Yeah, I'm asking because I don't know any knowledge, so 20 years from now, you wouldn't have to replace the whole flooring. You can come in, just repair this at a nominal cost and be good to go. Okay. That's the only question I have.
Okay.
Anybody?
Okay, does anybody in the audience want to comment for 3 minutes?
Can I pick the colors? I mean, like, I'm just looking at this here going, we're trying to squeeze blood from a turnip. Our county is not rich. So when I sit here and look at this flooring and all this stuff, I'm going, oh, this floor, not bad. It seems pretty easy to clean. I mean, we're going with this extremely extravagant flooring for a building you're not even paying rent for.
It's about certifications.
This is not a.
We need to
you
get
can't do this.
certifications as a medical
These other
facility.
flooring that I know are a lot cheaper. I'm on the hospital board for the White Mountain Regional Medical Center, for crying out loud. And we just replaced a bunch of flooring in the lab that did not cost anywhere near.
We have funds set aside.
$6 a
for this,
square
so-
foot.
Hold on just a second. Misty,
Oh, I'm not gonna argue with you.
Misty, I have a question. What kind of flooring did you guys put in over there in the hospital?
I don't know the details of it. I can find it out.
Is it epoxy or tile?
It was I think it's like a tongue and groove type stuff. Something of that sort.
Okay.
It wasn't an epoxy. It wasn't something, but I mean, it was, I can find out, but I don't know for sure, but I know that. And I mean, it was just in the lab that we had just done it. So I mean, it was a smaller area, but, anyway, so. The tiling, I don't, yeah, we just approved the budget. We didn't, it was economical, and again, it was in a lab, so I mean, I obviously know that there is some other stuff that goes into it. No, I was just using this as an example that this is wood, this is great, there's nothing wrong, this is aesthetically pleasing, all the things that we don't need to be going into $40,000. And great thing about the budget with the county is that when there's money left over somewhere else that isn't used, it can roll over into somewhere else that is struggling, that could use it. We're talking about pay raises for all these people. Like, when you look at the big bubble of money that is given to the county, there's a huge big bubble that is going to a flooring that I feel like could be distributed somewhere else when we reallocate funds.
So Jaco says tongue and groove is not acceptable. I'm gonna take a guess, wood flooring is more expensive than $6.50 a square foot.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll through everybody's comment, and then after they're done, if you guys wanna talk, and we could do that like that, and then I'll keep it more orderly and we can move forward.
I'd like to comment.
Okay, Vicky's next.
Yeah, my name is Vicki Farnbuckle. I want to point out, and it was already mentioned, but I want to really address it again and really express it. This is a healthcare clinic. The epoxy is going to be a flooring that will be antimicrobial, antibacterial. This is what I think we really need to look at. That, in my way I look at it, that adds protection to our community when we're going in and out of a health clinic. Where who knows what people have when they go in a health clinic, it could be contagious. So I would think you'd want them to be able to be sanitized and reduce antimicrobial, antibacterial as much as possible, since it is a health clinic. So I wanted to point that out. So yeah, there might be a little additional cost, but you also are going to trade that with health. You're not going to be spreading germs. You're not going to be having a pandemic with whatever outbreak might be next. So that's my input as a healthcare professional as well.
Okay, thank you, Vicky. Hayden? On that?
No,
Oh,
let's wait until.
Does anyone else have, so Tom?
One question, whether it pertains or not. I've had a lot of questions over the years about what the county manager's duties are. Do you have a job description for the county manager? What gives the county manager priority over the three commissioners' voices? I think healthcare is more important than most everything else going on today here in the county. And years ago, we had questions on the county manager, this road improvement in each commissioner district, where the manager were making major decisions, took away from the county commissioner. I don't know, do you have a written job description of what the county manager is supposed to do?
If you wanna go to the commission office, I'm sure they can provide that with you, for you. And, I'll just say, our county manager, our commission office, our commissions all want healthcare in Catherine County. There's nobody that doesn't want healthcare for the people here. Patty.
I just want to say this, and don't take this that I don't want healthcare in Catherine County, but
Catherine County is not mandated to provide health care. That the commissioners and the county are willing to work with the clinic to get this open, I think just really shows that they care about the public here. But the idea that the county is responsible to make sure that the clinic can get moved in takes it a step too far. I don't like government. I don't like the government taking my money. I don't like the government spending my money. And I want Catherine County and the county manager's office to handle the money that they've got as wisely as possible. I've been working with the county for over 4 years. And everything we do, we look at the cost benefit. How much do we have to spend and still get what we need? Not necessarily what we want, but what we need and what can we afford. We're a poor county, so we really have to look at all of that. And I appreciate the county commissioner and the county manager and all the work they do on this, but I really think a lot of this is personalities. And if you have an issue, you need to be talking to your commissioners, you need to be talking to the county manager, and I'm with Becky. Facebook is not the place to do it. If you want support, just ask people to show up. But this back and forth and all the misconstruction and misinformation really ticks me off. I deal with these people on a regular basis, and they will work with you and they will help you. But you gotta go with them. You gotta help them. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Patty.
Well,
Lily,
first
hold
of
on
all-
just a second. Vicki said Grant was next, and then I'll let you next.
My name is Brent Hornbuckle. We're just seeing way too much animosity here. People need to get along. And ever since she's been in that county manager's office, that petition wasn't about just this. There's been a lot of turmoil. A lot of good people have left. We don't need this. We need people to work together. And since she's been in there, it hasn't been happening. So it's just not this. That petition, I had to ask her how many, I think she said it was 130. That's voters, guys. That means you, voters. And we want people to work along. They shouldn't be antagonizing each other. So why is this even happening? You say you want health care, but it's not moving. I would like to see it move and quit the animosity. And I really think it comes from there because there's some power struggles and like she said, personality conflict. But see, now you got everybody angry. That's not working. So maybe you need a lazy on Queen. I don't know. But it needs to be fixed so we can move forward. Thank you.
Thanks, Lily.
First of all, I want to jump in because county doesn't get a big bubble of money, but that was grant money, and you can't take grant money and move it to some, which sometimes they do. But I hear all this fiscal responsibility and all this and the cost and you guys are spending $750,000 for an electric vehicle charging station in Hightown?
Yeah.
And you're worrying about flooring? I mean, this is not right. Hands. I'm sorry. This is not right.
That's good.
Well, Lily, that's misinformation.
Yes, it absolutely is. You know better, Lily.
No, I don't.
You know,
That's all real.
we're not spending the $750,000. The only reason why we went through with that is because that money was going to be upfront in installing that. We wouldn't have done that had the county had to pay for that. So that's misinformation for
No,
the
but
public.
you do have to pay and then you get reimbursed,
We-
correct?
we do
That's
get-
what I'm saying.
do get
So
reimbursed.
you are spending out money, you will get it back, and that's fine,
I know,
but
but to say that we're spending $750,000 to put in an electric station, that's misleading the public. Anyway, sorry, I had to comment.
No, it's okay. And
Go
then,
ahead.
and as well, the charging station, like, we thought long and hard about it, but there's people that have electric cars that would drive through Catherine County. And so by accepting that grant, it might boost the businesses around Catherine County. And so the LAPIP funding is what we allotted to the clinic. We can use that however we want it. We can put it in anywhere we want. it wasn't deemed just one thing, and so we've held on to it, and we haven't just thrown that funding everywhere. We've tried to allot it in different spots to try to benefit different pieces of the county. So, okay, does anyone else have any more? Okay, Pat.
First of all, I just want to say I agree with Lester. Government is awkward, government is annoying, but we do have rules, and the procurement will apply to everyone. And every fire department chief has to go through, say, cotton picking, 3 quotes, garbage as everybody else, but that is the rule, and we need to abide by the regulation. And I will say that I have not had any particular problems with the commission office. They've been helpful and try their best to help me even when I screw up big.
Thanks, Pat. Does anybody else have anything to say? Russell?
Russell Navy, living one. You had a bachelor. I'll tell you what, the county's got, these people in there need to know. The county commission office has 4 employees up there. You guys spend over $300,000 for those 4 employees. We got 6 in the village office, $200,000. That's the kind of thing she's talking about.
If you're gonna be fiscally responsible, let's do it across the board. That's what I'm saying. And I wasn't trying to say that the county's spending, but you do have to spend that money and wait for it to come back. That's what I was getting at. And it doesn't benefit a large part of the county. That was my point. Thanks.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have anything to say?
I would like to say a couple of things. I support the commission. I think that you guys have a job. We want to be in a position and do what you have to manage. And I do appreciate all the great elections in this time. I want to get funding here. I want to get started. I want employment. I want a medical clinic like everybody else. But we've got to stop the bickering, the arguing, the fussing. Everybody has to start getting together. Social media is not the way to put out everything that you want to say. And I don't do it, thank God, because I don't want to hear about it, but somehow, in other ways, I still find out what's being said. I just want everything to settle down. Everybody start getting along. There's too much controversy. There's too much bickering. There's too much fussing. And I just want to let you all know that I appreciate the work you do. And I really, really do. I wish I could go with you to DC because that's where we need some help. This whole county needs help. We need jobs. We're dying. Our school systems are dying. And I appreciate everything you've done. I would like to get that out there for you, all of you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Becky, oh, well, hold on. There was somebody in the back. And then you can be next.
Yeah, so I kind of listening to everything, I can understand why there is the frustration that there is on both sides. I can understand that procurement is a difficult thing and it's not easy for people who have never been in government to understand the ins and outs. They don't have a lawyer that they can, text or call and say, hey, is this okay? Does this work? Does this work? They have limited information on how this works. We can go to classes and be educated on these things, but that's not an opportunity for them. And we're asking them to do government work without the knowledge and understanding going forward. And I think maybe we need a softer approach on this. We all need healthcare. We all think it's important, and it is. But I think they're frustrated because, well, where's your 3 quotes? Well, we just got told that was rejected. So why would they go out and get 3 quotes on something that has already been rejected? There's kind of a strange gap here where, we're having these expectations of people who are not government officials to be able to navigate our government And that's difficult to do. And I do wish there was a little bit more of a softness from our side of things toward that. And I can understand why, you know, Becky is frustrated and, you know, Deb is frustrated because they have to do things in a certain way. Yes, because if we don't, then we get like an ethics complaint and it's a whole big thing and nobody wants to deal with that. So I think maybe just some big deep breaths and just maybe try to come at this a little differently from now on. You know, I think if the commission office can, you know, I think things were working good when Lou was the intermediary. I think Lou is very good at that. I think Lou is that really good middle ground. And I know you guys were getting stuff done when she was helping you. And maybe it is just a personalities thing, and that's okay. Everybody's different. Not everybody is everybody's cup of tea. And that's just facts. You know, so, you know, talk with them, tell them, hey, Lou is the only person that you're gonna talk to about this, or you guys, you know? And I know that they can call you at any time, but you, look at how many people are here. You guys know this is an issue. Call them. You guys call them, you guys reach out.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it is a two-way street. You know, you want them to be able to do all of these things and all these government procedures, but no one is reaching out. And when you reach a wall of animosity, it is hard to keep your cool.
That's right.
As for Facebook, that's democracy. I know maybe you don't like it when someone says something mean to you, but you know, I've had people say mean things to me, and that's fine. Everybody has an opinion. It's my job to work at those people and say, hey, you know, I'd like it if you listen instead of looking at the timer, please. I
was just turning it off so that it didn't be
Thank
loud,
you.
and I turned it off so you could speak.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I think it's really, this whole thing is out of hand. I need to get blood work done, and I don't wanna go to Socorro to do it.
Right.
I don't wanna do that, and neither do a lot of these people. So when you hear these things on Facebook, rather than taking it to heart, like really just look at it as an opportunity to reach out to a voter and say, you know what, I hear you. I see that you're upset and I will work at it. That's what we're supposed to do.
Okay. Thank you.
Becky. I just wanna say, and I'll make it kudos to Lou on this because, she.
Come in the room so we can hear you.
I don't get beat up. I'm gonna give you kudos on this because talking about the, you know, the Hightown Charger and everything, it's a done deal, it's happening. So Lou, she's always coming up with positive ways of looking at things, and she brought something to think. The revenue, everybody wants raises, the revenue that will generate is sustainable, so it can go towards raises if the commission decides that. So, I mean, that's one way of looking at it, that it is a revenue source. So, and as far as the Facebook thing, I'm not against Facebook. I know it's a democracy. That's not what I'm saying. I was against the basic name calling of our commissioners and our county manager and Cowboy Clinic giving it a thumbs up. That's what I felt was unprofessional. Other than Facebook, I don't care. That's what I'm speaking to.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone else have any more comment?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, I'm sorry about the website. I didn't realize that you weren't on there. And if you get with me, I can address that. And I'll also make sure it's on the website.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Lou.
Jolene?
I wasn't gonna talk today, but I'm going to, because I see all this going on about animosity. Thank you, commissioners, for all that you do. We appreciate you. Thank you that you are a voice in Washington, DC. And I just want to say that, you know, that this needs to stop. There has to be a better process for this. There's a lot of people in here that are professionals, need to learn to use that tack like Lou just did, and be willing to reach out and work together to get this going. They're frustrated because they've had so many obstacles, it seems like one after another. And they shouldn't be responsible with all this stuff that they're having to do to get into this building. We need this help clinic so desperately for our elderly people who want it so desperately, so they don't have to travel, and you know that, to Socorro, Springerville, Silver City. We did it now, and we just need to make the process easier. I also wanted to say about the flooring, that the school, when we built the new school, is a cement floor, and it does have some type of epoxy covering on top so that it's easier to clean, less bacteria on the floor.
Yeah.
And so if you have the funding for it, then use it for that specific flooring that you need in the clinic to keep the bacteria away. Thank you.
Thanks, Joanne.
Yeah.
Does anyone else?
This professional lady saves me anywhere from $400 to $800 or 800 miles travel to get health care. She's a professional, very good, better than the professionals from your Rio Grande Geology and Las Cruces. And I see three, I think, my friends, and y'all look healthy. And maybe you don't need health care, but this old son does.
I think we all need care. All right, thank you.
Cowboy Clinic is bringing 1.6 million into our community. Let's remember that not only their services, and they've already proven themselves, they've been here, many of us have gone to the Cowboy Clinic, but more than that, they're bringing $1.6 million to the health card clinic for all of the citizens of Capitol County and even the surrounding areas. And it's gonna bring people to us because they're not now traveling to Silver City or Springerville. Now we can retain that income here, so it will bring economic value too.
Okay, thank you. I think I'm gonna let.
Got something to say, please.
He's been very impatient.
All right, hate to say this, and then I'm gonna let Jennifer and Amber say something, and then we're gonna have a break.
I truly believe that the number one priority here is to get health care in that building. That's what we want. And I am so sorry that because of government policies that there appears to be delays. Those are not roadblocks that we as county government want to put up. Those are rules, regulations that we need to go by. But what's important to me is our relationship with Cowboy Clinic. County government and Cowboy Clinic needs to be partnered. We need to have a working association between us. We need to find a way to get that link. I really wish, I recommend that before you go to social media where people don't see the whole story and aggravation is generated, please call me. I'll call you. If you're having problems with Deb, call any of us. We need to get our partnershiping link in place, and we need to get you in that building just as soon as we possibly can. Let's make sure that we try to work together and not against each other.
Thank you.
I believe in everything you just said, and I would love to have that happen, but it's been hard for us because so much of this has nothing to do with policy. It has to do, for example, when the county manager called Corey Novak, who was our grant manager at the Healthcare Authority, and made disparaging remarks about us. And interfered and asked questions about our grant, which has absolutely nothing to do with her. And our representative told us this and wrote us an email about it. So it's kind of hard to get along with people who are calling people behind your back and saying bad things and trying to get information to use against you.
We will definitely work to change that if that's what's happening.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna go on a 5-minute, 10-minute break, and then we'll come back with all council.
I don't like to see the health thing of it. So, yeah, there was a longer, hey, that's not anything.
Guys, we gotta get going.
Thank you.
Or whistle.
We have one.
It's 11:05.
That's good.
It was mine.
Oh, my.
Bang away.
Okay, so we're gonna go into the, Catherine County Health Council. We've got Kendra Burden and Joanne Young here.
Good morning. I'm just here to introduce Kendra. She is our new chairperson for Catherine County Health Council. And she will be giving the presentation, but I will be here to help with any questions.
It looks like you guys already got the handouts.
Another packet, yeah.
All right. So mostly what I wanted to do, I'm relatively new to the chairperson position for the Catron County Health Council, and we've had quite a few changes and made an immense amount of progress. So I wanted to update the council and kind of open lines of communication, because you guys are also hearing where the problems are, and if there's areas that we can step in and make changes, that's what we would like to do. But we need everybody's input. We need information from all over so that we can make sure that we're hitting the right points. And we feel like we're doing that at this time. Like I said, we've had quite a few successes. What we're doing right now, we've been partnering with Catron County Cares, and that's a nonprofit organization of, they function mostly in the northern part of the county. They have a lot of good programs already in place, and they are setting up programs. We are working with them to try to use some of what they're using, what they're doing, to bring it here and possibly even further south. Currently, one of our biggest programs is the, it's a medical alert. It's a medical alert. It's, everybody remembers the I've fallen and I can't get up. It's basically the same thing as the life alert button, where people can wear it as bracelet, as a necklace, and they are distributed to people who are at risk for falling and not being able to contact help. So they can push this button and it will call a listing of numbers for them. It can be family members, it can be EMS, it can be however they choose to set that up. That program has grown immensely since January. We had 66 people enrolled in that program as of December. As of now, as Deb said, we have 135 people enrolled just since January. That's huge. We're actually looking at expanding and reaching out for other financial resources so that we can make sure that that program can continue to expand and continue to be in place. At this point in time, it's being paid for by the Health Council, and as successful as it is, we would like to see it expanded. Just since January, those buttons have been used 8 times, and one of them required an EMS response. That also speaks to the fact that our already exceptionally overtaxed EMS is not necessarily going to get called out if somebody can get help from other resources. So it helps us more judiciously distribute that those services. We have specific, as the Health Council, we have specific things that we gain grants for. Our focuses are primarily for this county, have been behavioral health, harm reduction, suicide prevention. We also we're also addressing food insecurities. We participate in and help out with Roadrunner and Hearts Revived.
And we've just taken over the ECHO program from the Health Council, or from the Senior Center.
And I've worked with a few different counties and a couple of different states. I can tell you that it's rare that food distributions actually distribute meat. Usually it's pantry goods, canned goods, things like that. And these programs in this county frequently distribute meat. That's a big deal. That's a big nutritional source, and that is partially because of how the Catron County Health Council contributes to those organizations. We also participated with Deb and Jennifer and a few other people from Catron County and went to the SB3, LC7. LC7 is the regional, the region that we're in. The SB3 was the grant that provided funds to at the county level to be distributed at the county level for mental health services and implementation of improvements in mental health infrastructure from many different directions. We spent 3 days kind of hashing out what was really important to us. And one of the things that we came up with was a wellness center and providing a resource, a place where people could go for resources throughout the county. So food resources, housing resources, mental health resources, healthcare resources, whatever, for whatever they needed to improve their health, their mental, emotional, physical health. We're also working on training people so that they can better access resources and make sure that they are aware of and able to convey appropriate resources to the right people. Basically, we want somebody who can really appropriately help the people who are coming in for resources. Other that I missed on what we're currently. Just how many average we have for our food distributions? So the food distributions, Roadrunner, 75 families and 125 family members average were contacted and assisted. And for Hearth Revived, 50 families and approximately 100 family members were contacted and assisted.
That's every month.
In the month, yeah. So.
Wonderful.
The other thing that I noticed you mentioned earlier, Audrey, was veterans healthcare access. One of the things that we discussed in that wellness center, the VA is willing to help set up and create spaces for the veterans. If we can get telehealth for the VA for them, they would help fund setting up an area so that we could have a main location where veterans specifically, and possibly expanding on that, but starting with veterans, could come and do telehealth and get healthcare if that's the system that they're working through.
And another thing that we're thinking about is having a room set aside for behavioral health, telehealth, a separate room, since HIPAA stuff is discussed. We're looking at trying to get 24/7 telehealth, which is not available right now.
For crisis care.
For crisis
mental
care.
health.
For crisis care. And that's just another thing that we're looking at this wellness center. And we do know of somebody that will provide 24/7 telehealth for behavior crises.
So we're going to be reaching out to them and trying to see what we would need to do on this end to provide a place and a resource for people to get that immediate assistance that they may need for crisis.
Do you have a place for this?
We are working with the county. The county was also, Deb, the county manager, was present at that meeting, and we've pitched some places, but it's dependent on how we write that grant and what is available at that time, what buildings are available, and what kind of financial deals we can work for versus what
And currently, it wouldn't cost the county anything, because this would come out of the SB3 funding, which our fiscal agent, and Catron County is one of them, Socorro, Sierra, who else? Torrance. There's fiscal agent for this group is the lady in Socorro. Her name is Jackie Muncie. She will be the one that will be dealing with the funds.
We're actually holding a public meeting. There's going to be 3 of them, one in Daddle, one in Kamado, and one here in Reserve. And we encourage everybody in the community to come. We want everybody's feedback on directions we can go with this. And that would be the best time to show up because the person who's in charge of how that money is distributed for our county will be there. So that's the best opportunity for your voices to be heard and heard to everybody to pick a meeting and please.
And we were only able to do 3 meetings, so we unfortunately did not get Glenwood scheduled, but for all 3 timeframes, we do have this Zoom option.
So are the times and dates set already?
We have flyers out here, yes, yes. And like I said, I want to reiterate that this is not going to cost the county anything. Well, that is the thing. I mean, it's an important thing. The money will be distributed as the person running it sees fit, so we gotta write it in such a way that we'll get it.
And immediately we'll be working on funding sources outside of SB3 so that we can maintain these programs that were just like the medical alert program.
But
we're trying to look for longevity.
Yeah, but I do want to say that the health council will not get any of this money. This money will be for the county, not the health council. And I think that's important for us to know.
Anybody have questions?
Anybody have a question?
I actually, I was wondering if do you guys have any like information or flyer, especially about the mental health care and things like that maybe we could, put in our offices if we can do that.
There's a stack of flyers actually out there that discuss the meeting.
Yeah.
So this meeting, we don't have any, the SB3 money hasn't been designated for anything other than mental health, which is actually a really broad space that.
It's a state thing.
We have lots of room and lots of spaces for programs to be used for that.
Yeah.
So we don't have a flyer saying, these are the programs that we're going to be looking at, but that's part of what that meeting is for.
Okay.
If there are programs that people can suggest and that we can make happen, then that's why we want people there. We want those.
Tax season is up, so I'm gonna have a lot of people coming into my office, so I just figured it would be a good time to be like, hey, I get your opinion.
If we email you a flyer, can you distribute it, or would that be helpful?
Yeah, I would love to do that, if that's cool.
It's county sanctioned, so definitely.
If it's county sanctioned, I'm good.
Well, and I have to say, at that 3-day workshop, we were with all these other counties that have more resources than we have available here. So we were kind of, okay, we need that, we need that, we need that, we need that, we need that.
They were talking about mental health programs on release of jail and whatnot, and that's not a system that we have going here.
And so a lot of it didn't really pertain to us because we needed all of it. We couldn't.
Yeah, they were starting from foundations of all of that, and we need to build that foundation still.
If we can get the flyer over to my office too, I can blast that through
There's-
my
I
big
will
email.
provide it.
I think I sent it to you, didn't I? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
We're gonna move into action items, consideration of county logo modifications.
So this was brought to you, there was some discussion of kind of updating our county logo, maybe it's a little bit more modern. So this item, we don't have anything to bring to you to review, just we're looking for direction to staff.
So, do we just need a motion for directing a staff to get logos
Or however you would like to proceed, absolutely.
So do I have a motion? Or is there any more discussion?
I'll make a motion that we direct staff to look at alternatives that modernize the Catherine County logo and hope potentially remove the fish head that's currently on the logo. Which everybody knows is not a fish head. But
Okay, do I have a second?
You could have a better cowboy input, but so like I don't know. I mean Well, I will. Well, no, I will second, but I bet you that if we reached out, I bet you that there's some people that we know in the county that are artists or have some background that could provide us without going out. I don't wanna go out and spend,
I don't think it's gonna take money.
yeah.
Yeah,
I just want to mention in the county where I'm from, they open it to the public and they invite people to send their design. And a lot of the school kids and artists and all kinds of people submit.
That would be awesome.
That's a
So I
good
think-
comment.
So I think on your motion, if you could amend it to say something like that, where we give them open it up to submit
We
ideas.
could put it in the school systems
Let the
and have
kids,
to draw a little
let
deal. They could look at that.
everybody
But
be a
maybe-
part of it.
Then we could get ideas off that and have a public meeting and
I think AI will be overworked when we give it to the.
so.
Oh, okay, I'll amend my, motion
Okay.
to reflect the, previous comment.
Okay.
Okay, Buster, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approval of agreement with New Mexico Fire to purchase SCBA refill station, compressor fill station installation extension.
It's probably Pat, it's because it's over the, $20,000 mark.
And Pat left,
It's for one last station.
Oh,
It is
will you?
Yeah.
So, you gonna just tell us, I mean, a compressor fill station?
It's a complete fill station to refill the SCBA bottles, the air packs we wear.
Right.
They have in this environment, we don't have a way to fill those other than outside of the country.
Okay, and just,
And we saw the quote, she did the due diligence on it, and it's in the budget, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion?
I motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approval of agreement with Advanced Rescue to purchase Milwaukee M18 volt XL30 C cutter and M18 volt 28-inch spreader. Whose is this? Larry.
I don't know who's part of it.
No, it's not Larry's. Is it, Motto? Where's Tila?
Don't get it out.
I can't get to the. It's either gonna be, I think it's either gonna be Model or Pat. I don't have my computer.
So I mean, just from the description, I would imagine that these are gonna be like cutters to cut into a vehicle that's ready.
Oh, it's the jaws of life, yeah,
Yeah.
it's the jaws of life, that's what it is, sorry.
Or who,
We
you
don't know which
remember?
district.
I got it right here.
It's,
It's for Kamado by.
yeah, it's for Kamado.
And it's-
Oh, well, heck, I got a motion. I don't wanna get caught in the vehicle if that,
You got a motion?
yeah, I motion to
I'll
approve.
second.
All in favor? Okay. Approval of agreement with Benny's Garage Doors to purchase, remove, and replace damaged and outdated doors on Station 31.
That's mine as well. But we have our doors as well, with 1 year old, and they're not the right type. We're trying to replace those with insulated doors. They'll open and close when we need them to.
And you're within your budget.
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have a motion?
I motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Consideration of resolutions 48-2026, authorizing a Colonias Infrastructure Project Fund Loan Grant, agreement with the New Mexico Finance Authority for Mingus Lane, and approval of supporting documentation.
Madam Chair, I request that you postpone this to after executive sessions, since you understand it.
Do I have a motion? Do you have a motion?
I'll motion for that.
Do I have a
I second it.
So that's gonna be item E is gonna be moved till after executive session. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Consideration of resolution 49-2026 budget adjustment number 8 for fiscal year 2025-26.
Standard.
I motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's distracting me,
That's okay.
my fault.
Consideration of resolution 50-2026 contract amendment with Stantec RFP number 2023-11-01.
And that one, this was approved last month, it was the state portion for your branch. Am I right? It's a state portion for the MSA.
That's correct. Commissioners, you heard that action last month.
Yeah.
We just had a clerical error and I didn't know I didn't have to put it back on the agenda.
Okay, so we don't.
So do we don't need to do anything? I think when her motion to approve it was the correct. Okay, error. I motion to approve it with the corrections.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Consideration of federal MSA extension RFP number 2023-11-1-001.2, second time extension.
Madam Chair, this is also a cleanup item. This piece of paper was actually to be submitted last month with that documentation, but we are providing.
Clarify, so we have two MSAs with the county, one is for state funding and one is for federal. And last month when I submitted the documents to the Department to recognize there was two separate contracts. So last month you approved the state, this resolution is to approve the extension of federally funded MSA.
Okay, thank you.
I motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hey, do I have approval of checks and registers?
I motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of payroll?
I motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Executive session. Motion and roll call vote to recess regular session and go into executive session and not pursuant to New Mexico State Statute Section 10-15-1. Only the following matters will be discussed in closed section. A, pending or threatened litigation. BOCC versus Green. B, personnel, county manager. C, real estate, Dominguez Lane, and Clinic Lead.
One motion, yes.
I'll motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call. Hold on, you guys, it's kind of too loud.
Second.
District 1,
Buster Green. Aye.
District 2,
Audrey McQueen, aye.
District 3.
Aiden Forward, aye.
We were in executive.
Thank you.
11:28.
Sorry, we're a rowdy bunch.
Okay.
All right, any motion and vote to reconvene regular session.
I motion.
It's 12:43.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You have to do the other part. Motion and roll call vote.
Oh, motion and roll call vote that matters discussed in closed session were limited to those specified in motion for closure and that no final action was taken as per New Mexico status section 10-15-1.
So is there a motion?
I'll motion.
You did?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call. District 1,
Buster Green, no action taken.
District 2,
Audrey McQueen, no action taken.
District 3.
Aiden Forward, no action taken.
Now we're in.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to the action item 10E. Consideration of resolution 48-2026 authorizing a Colonias infrastructure project fund loan grant agreement with the New Mexico Finance Authority for Mingus Lane and approval of supporting documentation.
I'm gonna make a motion. I'll motion, we approve resolution 48-2026 and its documents. The motion also includes instructions to staff to proceed with condemnation. Makes like,
Condemnation?
yeah.
Can you write that for me and
Sure.
send it to her? You can send it to my email or you can just write me in.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Write it right back there.
Here.
Never that.
Action item A, direction to staff BOCC Berkeley Green. I don't know.
Yes, I make a motion that we delegate authority to the chair to negotiate a settlement agreement. If no settlement is reached, staff is directed to begin condemnation.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, direction.
I'll have to take it.
I'll let you do it. Send me an email with it, okay?
Okay.
Direction to staff, for the Cowboy Clinic flooring request. So, I'm gonna make a motion. I move to authorize the clinic to select the flooring and paint finishes for the project, provided that all such selections comply with the applicable provisions of the New Mexico Procurement Code. This authorization is conditioned upon the clinic's written agreement to the following. The clinic shall be solely responsible for any costs associated with its selection that exceed the amount budgeted for the flooring and paint, and shall timely pay any such excess costs. The clinic is authorized to select and install light fixtures. However, all such fixtures shall become part of the building upon installation and shall be considered permanent improvements. The fixtures may not be removed from the clinic. The clinic must provide written acceptance of those conditions prior to exercising any authority granted under this motion. All work has to be done by a licensed contractor. Upon receipt of the clinic's written agreement to the above terms, staff is authorized to proceed in accordance with this motion.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Could you send that to me?
Yeah.
Congratulations on the flooring.
Thank you. Thank you guys very much.
So just so we can clarify, like, we want you guys to do your flooring, we want you to do the paint. We're not picking anything, we want nothing to do with that, you guys name your rooms, you do you. We just want the paint and fixtures, flooring, everything done by a licensed contractor.
You have already issued a PO for a portion of the paint. So that stays, I'm assuming. Because this agreement then would cover the other walls, correct?
So within this agreement, basically, and I talked with Jennifer before, what the county is liable for is everything remaining in the funds. Anything that goes over and above that, you would assume responsibility for.
We can assume responsibility for that. So we had mentioned about having the paint party then, so we were gonna have members of the community come up, we're gonna serve food, and members of the community were going to come and paint the walls.
Our only thing with that was the legal part of it.
Because
If somebody gets
It's a
hurt.
great idea.
It is.
Well,
But-
this is why you have a PO issued for all of the high points, the ceilings, the lobby, and things like that. That way nobody has to get on a ladder or anything like that. So I just wanna make sure that I'm hearing that correctly, that the answer is no, we cannot do that.
We would like to see a professional contract do all of that. That way it relieves the county of being liable for if something happens.
So the problem, Amber, and here's where we go back to government, okay? Like that is awesome, and a community building thing and everything else. But somebody falls while they're painting and breaks their hip and then sues the county. Like, do you understand the position that we're in?
I understand.
So a licensed contractor, or, I mean, everybody needs to sign a release, I don't know, but that's the only thing, talking with our lawyer, we have to protect the county as well. And so like, I love the idea.
And we are responsible
but-
for insurance inside the building too. Just remember that for our agreement. So
Right.
we have liability insurance.
Right.
But okay,
But while it,
yeah, no, we're good. We don't wanna fight anymore.
yeah.
That's all we want. We want
Yes,
no more.
no. And so, we're just trying to do our due diligence to try to protect the county
Understand.
in circumstances.
So that, yeah, we'll take our samples back if you don't mind. So we can start purchasing.
Yeah.
You're good with the colors. You're saying that you.
We're not making any decisions.
That's
You guys are deciding. You guys are deciding the flooring,
Up to you.
every room.
We're gonna go neon purple now. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Whatever. Mountaineers.
We're
Put a little
not,
yellow and gold in it too.
Yeah.
We got whatever.
we're not gonna fuss over the colors.
Thank you, guys.
Any other questions?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. We'll I believe we can sign an agreement.
agreeing to that.
Okay.
Okay, so the next commission meeting is gonna be May 13th, 2026, 9 AM at the Fire Administration Building located at 3 Mountaineer Strait Reserve, New Mexico. This meeting's adjourned.
We got
It is.
down to the.
12:50, we gotta run.